Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I'm just going to ask you guys if you can do me a small cookie crumb favor, which is watch, like, and subscribe to the channel because this helps me to help you. And in the end, we both benefit. So, without further ado, let's talk about the running man. Now, Glen Powell's remake of the Running Man opened this weekend, and it looked like it was going to be off to a running start, but that wasn't the case. He failed. The movie opened up to a box office disaster weekend, and it's going to flop. Now, I went to check the movie out, but before I go into my thoughts about it, let me just say this. There was hardly anybody in the theater to see this movie. And I was just like, wow, So the question and what we're going to talk about is, why did anybody run to the theaters to go see The Running Man? And why Arnold's version beat Glen's remake attempt? Now, I know some people may try to think that I'm hating or trying to throw salt on it. That's not it. I'm just giving you my point of view. So, first of all, this was not a good movie for Glen Powell to do because you're taking a classic movie that was done by one of the biggest movie stars. Well, let me just say not done by, but Arnold is still a big movie star. People still know who he is. He hasn't had any hit movies in a while, but back in his prime, Arnold was the biggest action star in the world. So for Glen Powell to try to take a classic Arnold movie and try to do a remake of it, that was a problem. The second thing is, number two, the cast. When you look at the cast of Glen's Running Man, you had him, you had Josh Brolin, you had Coleman Domingo. Now, not taken away from those guys, but to me, it just wasn't enough, along with a bad storyline, to pull people in to say, I need to check this out. When you look at Arnold's version of The Running Man, the story was solid, entertaining. It was solid. But then you look at the cast that he had too. You had Arnold, Jesse Ventura, Richard Dawson, Jim Brown, Kafa. If I'm saying his name correctly, give me a second, guys. I don't want to mess up anybody's name. Let me check this out for a second. Bear with me for a quick second, guys. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Sorry to put you guys on hold like this. You had Yafi Koto. Sorry about that. Yafi Koto. So Arnold's Running Man had a lot of stars who was in their prime that everybody loved. So when you put all those together, along with Schwarzenegger, yeah, people went to go see it. Yeah, people checked it out. Glen's Running Man was just, it was generic. I'm sitting in the theater going, okay, maybe it's going to pick up. Maybe it's going to do this. It just didn't hit. It just didn't do well. And also, Glen Powell He's an up-and-coming talented actor, not taken away from him. But Glen has not put himself, I would say not put himself, but Glen does not have that pull to pull audience in to see him as a leading man. He doesn't have that. And not only that, he doesn't have anything under his belt that people love to say, I can go check this out. He needs to get some type of franchise, needs to get some type of hit characters under his belt, because we've seen him in Twister. We've seen him in Top Gun Maverick, but we have not seen him in a role that shines for him. Compared to Arnold, Arnold was a world champion, global bodybuilder. He had the Conan the Barbarian that was a global hit. Then he had the Terminator. So he had all these things under his belt working for him that whatever he did, he had that pull to pull people in. Glen, he's got the potential to do that, but he just has to find something. He has to find some type of franchise, put his name under something to blow his name up, to get that global appeal, to get that box office appeal. And then people will say, I will come check out Glen as a leading man. But right now, he just doesn't have that. And as I said, I would not have did this movie. This was not a good pick for him. Because trying to come behind a global superstar like Arnold is very hard to do that. It's just like when they did the remake of Alex Cross, when they did the remakes of Alex Cross, sorry. When you had Morgan Freeman, who did such a great job as Alex Cross, and then they did the remake and they said, okay, we're going to attach a Tyler Perry to the movie. Not to take anything from Tyler, but Tyler just did not have what it takes to pull people in to see the movie. So I hope that Glen Powell and his team can try to find something, some type of franchise or some type of character that's going to take him to that next level to develop that appeal. But we just have to sit back and see. So you all let me know. Let's chop it up. Do you feel that this was a bad move for Glen Powell? If you did see The Running Man, what was your thoughts about it compared to the classic Arnold one? Until then, stay tuned.